Worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. 2026 is here, y'all. What we gonna do now? I got me a special guest in the building, man. My good brother Jackie Stone, CEO and founder of University of the Streets. What's up, Mr. Stone?
What's up? What's up? What's good?
Oh man, it's a pleasure to come across your path, man. You see on the wall, we got Dream, we got Believe, and in the middle, we right here live from Federal to Incredible Studios and Podcast Station. I'm Wallo Reall. I'm geared to join my brother over here on this sofa, and we about to engage in this real life. My brother, tell me a little something about yourself, man. Where you from? Who you are? What's going on with you?
My name is Jackie Stone. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm from 15th in Cleveland, but I'm a Linden baby.
Columbus, Ohio. What's going on?
You better know it. I'm in the city. I'm in the building. So, my journey of life has been it's been a journey of pain. So my growing up is different than others, but I'm here.
Well, it's unique, man, because people know me well. I've been grinding and hustling for a long time with everything I've been doing in my life, and to be a part of a positive movement.
Absolutely.
That's really what kind of hurts a lot of us. Let me cut this heat off real quick before we dive in, because I hear this heat blowing, and we're going to be in here sweating, brother, because we talking about some real life here. So I'm just going to get straight to it and tell you, even how I met this brother. We do engagements at high schools. I perform at any concert, any local bar, any event where they want Wallaby to come and demonstrate this positive energy. Even though I rap, it's still positivity in your rap because you're supposed to learn from it. Mm-hmm. So I got invited by my brother, Mr. Kinley. Shout out Mr. Ron Kinley, man. He in London Correctional Institute. I haven't been to prison. I haven't been convicted. I didn't fall short of the way I was hustling. I kind of focused and stayed away from a lot of people and did everything by myself. So not that I can say I was not guilty or guilty of anything, because I'm where I am. It's a blessing that the Maker control your footsteps and give you an opportunity to come across the right palms and the right paths of other brothers that you might meet, that you might get some encouragement from or give them some encouragement. So I went to perform. They booked me in July, booked me in a prison, blew my mind. I never thought I'd be going to a jail to perform and get paid and actually be with the real individuals of society, because you see, they always act like the worst of the worst is here. Nah, that's sometimes where you find your most intelligent men, your intelligent women locked up. Anyway, I met the brother at London Correctional Institute in July. I went to perform. He was standing on the side of the stage with the group that he was in, and they was ready to perform. I didn't know him. I didn't know they was performing. So when I get there, they talking about, they got flyers with my name on it. They spread it out all through the jail, almost like I was at home and my name was just ringing through a university of some sort. All these inmates I ain't never seen, arms folded. They ain't gonna give me no love. They might give me some love. Hand me that picture right there, if you don't mind. This picture right here is what they gave me. So what's crazy about life, I never even knew this brother existed. I got booked to go rap at London Correctional Institute. I meet this brother because they performed before me. So I'm almost meeting him like I'm at a show, like I'm at a concert, like I'm at home. Mm-hmm. I almost forget I'm even in a prison, because this is what I do. It don't matter where you at, I'm coming to do my work. So I was so comfortable, and I seen 20, 30 brothers that knew me from home. I'm like, damn, don't you owe me 20 still? You still owe me some money, my G. So I'm in the jailhouse, man, and I'm excited because I'm geared to perform. I'm about to rap, and I'm geared to talk to these brothers about a little bit of mental health. It's a little piece of yourself. Mm-hmm. Do you love yourself? Do you care about yourself? So I met my homie, Mr. Jackie Stone, CEO. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he was that then. Absolutely. So I'm going to shake your hand, man, live and direct. Yes, it's a pleasure to even be able to come and sit down with you and talk about a couple things, man, because you got something going on. What's the name of your organization?
University of the Streets.
What's it about?
Unite, install values, equity, resources, sustainability into the youth.
See what I'm saying? It's some brothers out here really doing some real things. And we ain't gonna rush. We gonna sit here and we gonna talk politic and build about what he wants y'all to know. What information he might have that y'all don't know nothing about. I haven't been to prison. Matter of fact, how long did you do?
27.
27 what, months?
27 years.
He ain't say 27 months.
No time.
He ain't say 27 months. So if you listen, my brother did 27 years. This is From Federal to Incredible podcast, but this is the worth. He gonna come back and do an interview with the homie Dion about this demonstration. But this demonstration, I'm gonna first just ask you this. Before prison, my brother Stone, how would you describe your vision and mindset at that time?
A young man that was lost, a young man that was confused, confused with life, confused with the way to go in life. I was going down a path that was spiraling out of control at a 90 miles per hour. So I was confused. I was in a state of mind, get it how you live.
So where you from? What you from Columbus?
I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I was born and raised in Franklin County. So I'm a Columbus baby. I'm a Linden baby. I was born on 15th in Cleveland.
So would you want to tell us why you got 27 years?
I committed a crime of murder. I took a man's life, and the day that man lost his life is the day I lost my life as well. So, it's nothing to be proud of for you guys to start your day off with a gun on your side. There's nothing to be proud of, because when you carry a gun, you're going to use that gun. So be aware of that.
Well, we see how society is. I mean, you watching YouTube,
Absolutely.
you watching the streets,
right?
You watching Facebook every
Absolutely.
day. You see what the young peoples are entertained by.
Yeah, they run to social media with a gun, a blunt, and a bottle.
And they almost seem like they glorify it so much now.
Absolutely, they display.
It's almost like they're warped or tainted.
Right.
What do you think? How are we gonna be able to combat that? I got Stay Out the Streets, Youth Empowerment Program. You got the Guiding Youth.
That's right.
See, this is what we're gonna have to find out, man. How we gonna bust this down and put it on a hot plate for them? How we gonna get them to eat it?
So basically, you got to start with the basics. Everything got to start with the basics. When you take your first steps, you start with the basics. When you learn how to write, you start with the basics. When you learn how to do 1, 2, 3, you start with the basics. So we got to go back to the basics.
My dude tell me every morning, 1 + 1 is 2.
That's right.
ABC, 1, 2, 3.
That's right. So we gotta start with changing the mentality of the men and women. We gotta change their heart. We gotta change their spirit. We gotta change the dynamics that's in the family, homes.
I just was talking about family. So since we right here, compare your old way of thinking to your new way of thinking, because that's almost what you're saying right now.
My old way of thinking is just like I just explained, just expounded on. Start my day with a blunt, a bottle, and a gun was my old way of thinking. My new way of thinking is using my mental power. Every day I get up, I energize, I power up. And that's what we have to become. We have to become the resource in order for us to move forward.
So I can't lie to you. To even know you was convicted of a murder or a homicide or aggravated murder or whatever it could have been.
Yes,
I
sir.
say that because we look at society, they glorify the killers.
Yes.
They glorify the niggas that say I was a murderer.
Absolutely.
If your sons or your nephews or your brothers like, yeah, my brother was a killer, nigga. That's they quick to do that.
Yeah.
I'm only going here because I know a couple brothers that got some bodies.
Right.
They ain't glorifying it now.
Right.
But what was your turning point? What helped you see clearly here with this new vision? Although you went to jail for killing a man, was that a part of your turning point, or did that have to happen for you to become who you are?
My development, my mental power, me having a low mental power, my disadvantage, my brokenness, my generational trauma. I had to heal from all those. One thing about men and women, in order for you to heal from anything, you got to heal from what started the process.
That's the trauma.
So you got to go back to the trauma, adverse childhood experience that started in your home. So you got to break down the things that started in your home that then carried on to the outside.
Y'all hearing?
So the adverse childhood experience, the trauma that you've been traumatized throughout all your life, you got to heal from that. You have to get naked in order for you to heal. You got to forgive yourself and you have to forgive others in order you to start your process, because you're going to go through this process, pain association transfer. That's pain. We're going to go through pain for the rest of our life. We associated with pain. So in order for you to heal, you're going to have to start with the trauma. People always say, I want monetary gain.
Money.
Which is money.
Materialism.
Materialistic, which is everything that's rented that you own is going back to someone. So in the process of wanting monetary gain, you will never reach that if you don't heal from generational trauma.
So your turning point was when?
My turning point is when they set me in a 5x7 hellhole.
Jail cell.
A box. And when I sat in that box, 80,000 thoughts transcend through your mind daily. Majority of those thoughts are negative. So you can be thinking of something so positive, your child, and then that one negative moment might wipe you out and have you smiling like you a clown. But you got so many different clowns in this world. The most dangerous clown is a rodeo clown because he takes his act on the road. And most men become rodeo clowns. They take their acts on the road. So my changing point is when I had to fix my face from being a clown. I had to fix my interior from being a clown. Then I had to work on my exterior.
Well, you know, again, I got a lot of things I want to ask you, and not to be stuck on what your crime was, but because that's like a top tier crime. Like when you think about crime, when you hear murder, you like, shit, it's over with for him.
Yes.
So 27 years, I ain't gonna lie to you, you sitting and you saying it like it was that easy. I can't lie, man. The age I am, 27 years will knock sparks up my whole, everything I've done. I wouldn't have accomplished none of that. So let's not act like that 27 years wasn't a long time. Man, that was 2 decades and a 7-piece.
That's right.
So the vision that you did get, all right, whatever start to get clear to you, if the crime didn't take place for you, would this vision still came? Or do you think you would have been deeper in the streets if whatever happened you didn't happen when it happened?
I may would have died of death and never would have been thought about again.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because my life was already spiraled out of control. You know, I lost my mom at a young age and everything around me was like falling apart. So sometimes people can say, okay, I can do this. But in the moments of doing whatever you're doing, we all have to take a step back and assess our damage.
Accountability.
That's right. We have to take accountability,
responsibility,
and you got to be level-headed. You know, the world,
a liability.
Yes, today's society that we live in is different from the society that I used to live in.
If you were to compare it, could you give an example? Just so they can understand maybe what that meant. So you came from an era when y'all was doing it like, just like you and the homie Dion was just talking about.
Right.
Instead of grabbing your gun, you got your hands.
You got your
so
hands.
So maybe that's a good example. So give me an example on that then, real quick, man, because you come from that era.
So the era that I come from, you slap box in the streets. You know, you mix it up with the ones and twos. You didn't run to a gun. You knew who was the shooter. You know what I'm saying? You knew who had a gun at a party, at a house party. But today, it's shoot 'em up, bang, bang. There's no regards for anybody's property, anybody's lives. A young man can take a life and just be cool with it.
A young man can take a life and he'll go get him a bag of weed, a blunt, and go meet a new girl and go to a hotel and forget about the nigga he killed. And then start arguing with his friends about how many bodies he got and you don't.
Absolutely.
These niggas is arguing over hats.
Yes.
How many hats you got?
Absolutely. So you become a hero in the local neighborhoods.
In the most negative way you possibly can.
In the most negative way.
These young men would come to a party, my brother, and hear you in there, and the nigga in the backseat that don't know you, he'd be the one to shoot up the whole party.
Absolutely.
And never even knew you existed.
Absolutely.
Just so he can get one up on the niggas in
and
the car.
Go home.
You see how crazy this is what we're talking about? Valuing your own life, but taking somebody else's life, and you gonna go cheerlead for it?
Absolutely.
So catching your charge, catching your case, getting your time, your mind had to unwind.
Right. So I went to prison, and in prison, people think prison is just like you go in there and you can make it, and you can live, you can flourish, but it's not that easy.
Can you elaborate?
Prison begins the day you walk into prison. That's when a whole different world begins for you. It's a synthetic world and a systematic practice where things is not going to change. Everything is going to stay the same. In this systematic practice, they're going to tell you when to shit, when to sleep, and when to eat. They're going to tell you when to go to the store and buy this commodity thing that you so desperately will kill the next man for. Because you're not going to a grocery store buying something that's society living. You're buying something that's a commodity, edible food, and you will kill the next man for it. So
it ain't even really worth much.
It ain't worth nothing.
But it's worth a lot there.
It's worth a life.
There. And it's worth much more there.
Right.
Because of living circumstances.
So the world is artificial, it's synthetic, and it's watered down. But the brothers come in there and they become the bricks in the walls. The bricks ain't gonna do nothing but change the color. You don't have a flower that's growing out the concrete. You don't have a rose that's growing out the concrete, and some don't even have trees that you can go out and kiss. You know what I'm saying? Because a tree of life you can learn a lot from just looking at that tree or a plant or a flower, but you don't see those things. You got concrete jungles and you got bars, and you got a young man that's younger than you telling you when to do anything that you need to do. So prison ain't what you think it is. So you got these brothers that come in there, they think that they still shooters and they still killers. So they come in there with that mentality, but they see that they don't have that gun with them. So things change right there, because I'm gonna make you lay down, and that's what it is.
So right there, lead me to this question. This is like conflict resolution.
Absolutely.
Your discipline and your choices now.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure you got to make a series of choices and decisions constantly when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask, when it comes to conflict resolution and self-discipline, can you walk us through how you handle real life situations, especially during your time in prison, where you had to choose whether to fight, walk away, sell the drugs, use the drugs, or just stay disciplined? How did you maintain that?
You got to fight, flight, and freeze. That's in your mind.
Say that one more time.
You got to fight, flight, freeze.
Flight,
fight,
flight, freeze. 3 F's.
That's right.
Okay, now.
So you have to raise the level of your cognition. And by doing that, you got to raise your mental power. Remember what I said? You got to energize yourself up every day. It's like plugging yourself up into a outlet. You become strong, you become powerful. You have to separate to elevate. Some brothers is gonna stay stagnated because that's all they know. Some people gonna stay like the wall, some people gonna stay like the stains in the toilet. But you have to become something much, much greater than yourself. You can't become average, you can't be good, you got to become great. And you got to separate to elevate. So how I did it, I was still social rule breaking when I got into prison. I did everything to keep my money up, to stay on the grind, because I had to have it. I wanted to eat.
Survival.
That's right, survival. But one thing I learned about myself, I was always mentally sharp. I always thought I was smooth. I always thought I can do this. But can you?
They say if you come home with all your teeth,
right,
you was from the street.
Right.
That's what they say.
Right.
It looked like you got all your teeth.
Yeah, I got all my teeth.
How did you escape some of those dangerous situations, man? I'm asking you, how did you escape some of them situations where it was geared to be all bad for you that night when they was geared to get this ride started? Or how did you escape some of these things?
So I was in a world where the skinny niggas don't die, on some Pac stuff. I had to become war ready. And when I say I had to become war ready, in my mind, I had to be war ready. I already knew I wasn't no punk type, lay down type dude, so I knew I was gonna get down with whatever came my way. So, I was a skinny dude, I didn't eat no meat. I felt like I was sharp in my mentals. I felt like I was sharp with my tools. So was
it like that when you first got there?
No, it was rough and rugged. It was rough and rugged. If dudes wanted what you have, they coming up in there. And it was a thing where they said, man, put it all under your bed. I'm coming up in there at the count. When the doors break, you break. It's an old penitentiary saying, but it's real in the field. I used to say Cold Medina, because it was real in the field. So Now I strapped my shoes on. I got down. I got busy.
So for some years, you had to do exactly what
I got busy.
you did.
I got busy, you know. And so I had a few homies, you know. When I say this, you can have 50 homies, but only 30 of y'all gonna get down with the get down. And that's what it was. That's what it was like. 50 homies, only 30 gonna have your back. And then you might have 5 that's from your hood. It might be 15 from your hood. They be the one to turn on you. You might have 5 that's gonna stand with you. So I used to tell my homies, listen, let's turn our backs to each other so we can see all the darts that's coming our way. No matter if they coming from the administration, no matter if they coming from our peers. And that's how I got down. So many years, I was committed to social rule breaking. And when I say that, that was anything that came into the joint, I got down.
Now now hold on, because see, this is what people forget about. We ain't gonna play the game like, you gotta be positive, you can't be negative, you can't do this, you can't do that. Rule breaking. First of all, who make the rules? We know the prison system ain't for us.
Right.
So I ain't gonna even sit here and play with my guy like prison was so wrong and so bad because he had to do his time, but he still had to survive. So I've been watching the prison story. They got, some stuff I've been seeing on YouTube. This ain't no prison story situation. This is a positive perspective, worth overcoming. We having a conversation with my brother here because he knows his worth.
That's right.
But what he overcame, what is he rebuilding on? What is he teaching? And is he healthy? Is he wealthy because of his mindset? Is he rich because of his growth? So what the question I'm asking, I'm not tripping on what he really did in jail, who he hit in jail, who swung at him in jail, the teeth. That was a joke. But the truth of the matter is, what helped you develop self-control in the moments when making the wrong decision was easy?
Because that's in split seconds, you can take a man's life. In split seconds, I took a man's life.
And you wasn't in prison when that happened.
I wasn't in prison. So I wanted to control my narrative. I didn't want nobody else to tell my narrative. I wanted to control my narrative. So I sat with my thoughts, like Nasty Nas said, sit with your thoughts. So I sat with my thoughts, right? In the process of sitting with my thoughts, I reflected. I did a lot of self-reflection of myself. I did a lot of self-inventory of myself. I did a lot of self-inventory of the communities I once harmed, I once tore down. The neighbors that I destroyed friendships with. All the things that I did to my community, my people, I did self-evaluation of. And that's when I began to change.
And that's funny. I made a post this morning about 6:30 a.m. I said, set in silence for at least an hour each day and see what you come up with. Your ideas need time to stay away from all the noise because it's a distraction. Mm-hmm. So I only said that real quick because, see, it's important when a man's able to find himself no matter where he at. See, the sad news is out of all the friends I know that came home and changed their life drastically, they went to prison. They slip and fell. Mm-hmm. They had to survive. Right. They had to fight. They had to do all these different drills to become retrained on the new man. Right. And I say that because you got to fight to survive. Somebody coming to take what you got in your bunk, you got to fight for what you got. I haven't been to prison to explain why I would have had to fight, but I'm sure respect is a factor. Absolutely. I'm sure respect is a high factor in our prison system because give me what you got. And then you turn around and go that way. Now everybody going to take what you got. At least that's what they say. So it feel good to even know that you getting another chance, brother. Because see, I'm all about a positive perspective. See, he could have been in jail knocking everybody out. He could have been doing everything he had to do to get to the point in the moment where his mind said, hold on, I do got a future. These 27 years done turned into 6.
Absolutely.
These 6 years done turned into 2. Hold on, I got 4 months left. Oh, hey, man, ain't no way I'm geared to take that sack you just bought in here and help you do anything with. But I got 6 months left. Why you gonna put me in this position, my G? So what I'm doing, I'm just making up this scenario for my brother because he really was challenged with these. And apparently he made all the right choices because his 2 feet on the same free ground mine is on right now at this podcast. Absolutely. So again, I'm going to salute you.
Absolutely.
27?
Absolutely.
You know what's crazy? Before he even came and sat down with me today for us to talk and build, I didn't even know what he was in there for. Never asked him that one time. I ain't know how much time he did neither. I'm thinking I'm coming to meet the young homie. Man, he did about 2-3 years. We get this dude to do. He told me a 27 ball. Changed my whole blood pressure for real. Now that I'm sitting here talking to him, because when he was calling me last week, because we printed his shirts. Come look at his shirt, my brother, but he official.
Absolutely.
He official. Let me see what the back say.
University of the Streets.
Let me see what that say real quick. Turn
Yes,
around.
sir.
Let me see. CEO unites neighborhoods, install values, equity, resources, sustainability into the youth.
Absolutely.
See, so the brother met me in London Correctional Institute. I keep saying it because I ain't going. I ain't got no plans of going unless I'm going back to rap again on that stage, man. So shout out Ron Kinley for giving me an opportunity to do that.
Shout out.
So while we talking about what's on your shirt, because see, I like to try to stay on topic before I keep rambling and asking you questions. It says, you mentioned this guy, the University of the Street, is something you deeply are passionate about. Can you explain how this program came into existence?
Well, I believe all men and women are walking university. Until you realize your worth, you will never know that you've been a scholar.
Know your value, know your worth.
You've been a scholar. You are a walking university. You don't need nobody to tell you that you are a university. You are a faculty yourself. So you have the knowledge and the information. The way that you become rich and successful, you have to plan for success. The way that you become rich, you have to open up a checking account, a savings account, because that's the information. Knowledge and information are yours. They are all gifts. You may not deposit them in a bank to get no money back, but you are your own financial return. So you are a walking logo. You are a walking graduate. You are University of the Streets. And that's what we're about. We about saving our youth.
And you see, this whole hood solid.
Ain't no doubt.
I'm doing a little filming, man, just on some B-roll, man. So y'all see I'm in here with a real one, baby. We working and we getting to it. So the Stay Out the Streets Youth Empowerment Program is the same thing, except I incorporated the worth in there. So then not only do you know your worth, but what you overcome? How did you rebuild? What are you teaching? What are you learning? What is your health? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? See, people get it lost. Sometimes you get lost when you talk about health. Mental health. That's the main thing that we fighting against right now. You was explaining something to the homie, man. Y'all was talking about, being from the terrorists back in the day. Shout out WTP. Where else did you say? You was from 15th. So that's right there. Yeah. So I'm here with a Northside veteran.
Yeah.
Let's just go back into the topic when y'all was talking about how the homies is doing in there. How they doing in there? Like, keep it real. Like, the ones that's doing them drugs in there that can't find that clear vision or that time to say, I want to change my mindset. I'm here for 99 years, man. What you think I'm going to do with 99 years, sir?
I'm going to keep it a buck for the women that don't know what their baby in there doing. For the fathers that's been absent in that child's life their whole entire life, because your child can have a hole in their heart the size of their father and never grow. So that means they stagnated their growth. They have an old mindset and they have an old Negro mentality. So they get trapped in that systematic practice. So for all you women that don't know what your child may be in there doing, your child may have 30 years, 60 years, 70 years, 90 years, but don't quite got it figured out. So they want to die a death and never be thought about again. And when I say that, they run to hard drugs. Matty Ice, Deuces, which is something like Raid, bug spray, and they look like a roach laying on their back when they smoke it. It's sad because them be my young black men, or any other race. But it's sad to see a brother smoking something that's so detrimental to their mind, their heart, their spirit, their life.
Are they trying to escape? Is that what the hard drugs is for?
So
I'm sure it's the same.
They come in there and they form a gang.
Okay.
They get into some type of gang to make their protection? No, it ain't about protection. To get through their time.
To do their time.
To do their time.
So a combination.
The brothers they can't fight solo. So they need to jump you. We call it JPay you. So, you know, they don't do that well. But the OGs don't care about them because the OGs is lost themselves. You got some OGs that standing tall. They prudent in their walk and they very loquacious in their talk. You know what I'm saying? They very talkative, but they ain't giving them the game. They ain't giving them the game.
Because I know, like, you know, back in the day, when I know a lot of the friends that been to prison and they met an older gentleman and got some game from him. I got a lot of friends that met somebody that they met in jail and they helped them stay politics, whether they was Muslims or they just wanted to stay sharp because they wasn't Crips or Bloods or GDs or folks or do.
So when you catch a brother that's loquacious, which is talkative, he's not going to be talkative to every child.
Basically, he can't save every inmate in here.
He's not going to, because most young men don't want that information. And then you don't have a lot of OGs that's giving the information up because they are doing the same thing the young men are doing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, to see some older men who didn't have a father, to see some older men who never taught us to go get our own company when we went to high school and they were just teaching us how to work for other people.
Absolutely.
So I'm quite sure there's some old dudes in jail that don't got no information for us out here for real. And for the ones that did give you some information or some encouragement, it was trying to probably keep you from doing what they did, making poor choices and decisions over and over. And don't come back in here no more when you get home. Don't let me see you back here no more, Jay.
Yes, because it's, you know, a lot of it.
So is it like that still? Do brothers like you? I mean, they giving these boys Hosher Walker numbers though, so I know it's a little different.
So I did orientation. That was my job.
Okay. You talking about when they first get in?
Yeah. So I did orientation on Thursday. So I created a program. I created a few programs. I created some curriculums. I created a curriculum called First Offenders.
Okay.
First time offenders. I created that with a guy by the name of Mr. Ron Burden. He just got paroled.
Okay.
Shout out to Mr. Ron Burden. I created another program called Stop the Recidivism with a brother named Kevin Jennings. He's another incredible brother. He's fighting for his freedom. We see you in a couple months, Kevin Jennings. He just lost his mom and his stepdad, so my condolences to you and shout out to you as well. And I created another one called Change the Image. The way we change the image is the way we change the future. Stop the Recidivism. That was incredible. But these programs that I created, I built with a lot of young men to change their future, to change their outlook, to change the way they think, change the way they act. And
so you was guiding the youth.
So I was guiding
from behind the walls.
Behind the wall. So I created another program which it wasn't no curriculum. It was just me feeding them. And it was called Gentleman's Night on Thursday. Every Thursday, Gentleman's Night. And all I did was feed them.
You talking about food?
Food.
You know,
I had one of the biggest social rule breaking. I had one of the biggest tickets in the system.
Now, what's that mean? When you got the biggest ticket?
I had a football ticket.
That's a good thing.
Well, you know, it showed me a skill set, how to become a businessman, but it's what you consider social rule breaking inside the wall, social rule breaking.
What they call FanDuel now.
Yes.
You talking about like the legal gambling that's going on now. So, got you.
Yes.
So all my cousins that's done time, football season always seemed like it helped.
It helped.
Something in prison and something about football season that helped brothers do their time and still enjoy something that we enjoy. See, you know, the brothers in prison is just as enlightening and bright as us. They got caught for something and they laying it down. It's when you get 27, do it like a champ. Come back home with a new mindset. Right. I salute this brother again because I never knew he existed. But guess what's crazy? He got a brother. When I sat down and was talking to my brother Dion just now, and it was building on how they knew each other from the old neighborhood, he say his brother's name. I've been knowing his brother since I was almost 12 years old. Playing basketball with his brother, almost looked just like him, and his cousin, Mia. Shout out Mia, baby. Shout out to the Moorhead family giving us an
Yes.
opportunity to connect because I went to middle school with her. Great friend of mine. For that to be your family. Shout out to Vano. That's the little homie. Been doing this thing. He rapping tough. Keep grinding. Blessed, baby. 444.
444.
We ain't tripping. You know we ain't gonna do nothing but show love to our people. But I know this guy's brother. And when I say he looked just like him, it's blowing me away. Because I know his brother so well. We played basketball almost 4 days a week when I was really in my basketball days. You know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing, man, to come across your path and not even know we was already kind of affiliated.
Absolutely.
Through just a couple people.
Yes.
So for us to be sitting here and be able to even talk about this, I wanted to just say, I salute you
Yes.
for still staying firm.
Yes.
Still staying hood solid.
Yes.
See that black man's fist right there holding up the hood?
No doubt.
And it's the letter I. So I'm going to get a t-shirt for you or a hoodie with this on it too. But see, what I'm saying is you hood solid when you go conquer doing your time. You hood solid when you overcome that stress and depression that's in your heart and your mind and some of them traumatic experiences you can't escape from. To rebuild your body, to rebuild your mind, to rebuild your thinking, to rebuild everything your family love, man. I'm sure that's all what a man wants when he comes home or while he's gone away. The teaching and the health. We trying to teach. We still learning. We still students. But guess what? Guided by you. Stay out the streets. The main goal is for us to continue to pour this information out on our males, our females. And I hate to say it because this ain't no prejudice thing, but race matters. I mean, most of our young black males are blindfolded by the streets and society. So when we talk about guided university of the street, what do you actually offer? And if you offer whatever you're going to tell us you offer, how can you see it being effective if you are the one in control of doing it?
So we offer a new hope, a new beginning, and positivity coming into our communities. Because people say that they are a neighborhood hero, but you're not doing nothing for the neighborhood. People say they are community leaders, but you're sitting from a desk. University of the Streets is going to offer you something where you can see the positive message being carried out into the streets, where you can see that your child is coming home and being productive and doing what they're supposed to do. Good grades, going to school, going to the next level, which is a collegiate level, playing sports, doing what they're supposed to do. And that's what it's all about. We got to change the disadvantage, the poor conditions, quit saying I'm a product of my environment because you're a product of bad decisions. And
Poor choices.
That's what you're a product of.
Absolutely.
So if we can look into the demographics, we know that we are being attacked. People of color, we all being attacked. They taking their times and they coming and forming a time to attack people of color. But we can't be the ones that say, oh, I'm gonna sit back and let it keep happening. You gotta push back. You gotta be strong and you gotta be productive and you gotta get up off your ass and you gotta do something with your life. We know that our children need us. But if we allow them to keep raising themselves, they're going to be wolves. They're going to be foxes.
And they ain't going to survive.
And
they ain't going to be able to see their future.
Not at all.
So this is the perfect segue for me to ask you, looking ahead, what are your plans for the next 2 to 7 years in terms of impact, growth, and reaching the young people through your program?
So I want to develop jobs into the poor communities where my people are lacking. I want to create unity and change the narrative in those communities with people that's saying those are the ops, because 2 blocks over, you done created ops on 17th when you stay on 15th. So you got to walk through the alley to go to that store. You see him, he from 17th.
You going to get a black amount and your life is on the line.
Your life is on the line.
You see how crazy that sounds?
So I want to change that. University of the Streets, we looking to change that, and we're going to change that.
And that's our reality now.
Because we're not sitting behind no desk talking about we advocates for the youth. We out in the streets, and that's the message that we're going to carry.
See, so I'm stay out the streets, youth empowerment program. My thing was dealing with the young people who got depression, anxiety, defiance, ADHD. Lied to them, tell them they couldn't read and write. They wasn't going to be successful. They wasn't going to be good. I pick up 7 to 10 youth per week, and they come to a class for 2.5 hours, and we just talk about conflict resolutions, knowing your wealth, overcoming, rebuilding. Are you learning? What we teaching you? Is it even comprehending that if you go get in the car with them young men and keep on stealing them cars, you're going to have a poor choice decision-making complex because you ain't nothing. You're sitting around the same type of people. So what's important to me is that guided youth, stay out the streets. My good brothers, ours brothers keepers. From federal to incredible. What I'm saying is, like when you said that word unite, if we're not going to unify, like if all these organizations that we can keep naming, you got one, you bring it to the table. I got one, I'm bringing to the table. The other brothers are bringing everything to the table. We almost got to come together once again if we going to save the young people that we're going to save. Because there's some we ain't going to catch. Some we ain't going to save. Some going to court tomorrow, Gary, do 25 years, 40 years, 60 years, 80 years. Some got sentenced last month, last week. Some brother that killed himself, died, murdered another person while he was in there. And we talking about on the streets. Forget the ones in prison. What about the brothers in the street riding around in masks, 3 cars deep, loaded guns, switches on them, seeking to kill another young black boy? See, it gets serious when we start talking about it from this angle. Because, yeah, he been to prison. Okay, he home now. I haven't been to prison, but I'm home. We got programs. What we doing with them? Is we really going to unify and come together with the other organizations to see if there's a chance to save your nephew or save your son? I watched Facebook. I watch Twitter. I watch TikTok, Instagram. I mean, these guys will kill somebody and put it on the video. Absolutely. These guys will kill somebody and then show the murder weapon 3 days later. Absolutely. And show the stuff they took from. I'm talking about the social media is making guys who can be career criminals who never got caught look like the dumbest criminals in the world.
So that's what's wrong with society. That's what's wrong with America. We take social media.
Break it down, bro.
And we blow social media up instead of using it for the right content.
FBI.
You know what I'm saying? So what we do
Facebook,
with it,
Instagram.
What we do with it, any problems that occur in my life, like some people feel like they gotta flourish and get up with circumstances. They have to create circumstances just to live in life. So what we do is we tend to have something that's so minor and make it so major, and we run straight to social media and give social media everything about our life, when social media ain't nothing but a platform for people to destroy their lives. So what we have to do is we got to be more intentional in our children's life. So you spoke about the mental aspect. So, you know, when you think about that mental aspect, you know, that's something that's so deeply
and that's everything.
Affecting,
your mindset.
That's right. It's so deep rooted inside the prison walls, because that's half of the prison system. Most brothers have a mental
disability.
Yes.
And sometimes don't even know it.
And don't even know it, because that's the trauma they done been throughout their life.
Especially when you got 68 years on the shelf.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mom died.
Yes.
Kids don't talk to you no more. You ain't got no money.
Yes.
No hustle.
No, nothing. Nothing. So
from the inside.
From the inside. So you can imagine someone trying to hold on when they don't have no mental power to hold on.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't all a sudden you see a young man take another officer's life in prison. All of a sudden you see another man take another man's life. That's that mental lapse. That's the mental breakdown.
He ran out.
So let me tell you about prison also. Prison, this systematic practice, I just left a prison that existed since 101. So that's 101 years. When I'm long and gone, that prison's still gonna be there, still existing. So when you think about prison today, this is what prison is about. Crime, punishment. You do the crime, you're gonna get punished. So I want you females to know this about, so you can be more intentional in your child's life. If you do the crime, and you fathers, you're gonna get punishment. So prison is about crime, punishment, treatment. Because when you come in, or assessment, treatment. We're gonna do the crime, you're gonna get punished, we're gonna assess you, see what level of craziness you are, then we're gonna give you some type of form of treatment.
And you know that's crazy, because I got a cousin who told me, like, yeah, man, they diagnosed me from my assessment as a sociopath. And I was like, damn, did they?
Yes, yes.
And so, guess what? At times when we fell out, at times when we would argue, at times when we had the biggest disagreement ever, being cousins and been blood, nigga, you gotta be a sociopath when you talking crazy like that.
Yes.
So,
crime, punishment.
So when you break this down now,
assessment, treatment.
When people go to prison, let's not forget about the mental part. I got how much time to do? I gotta survive in the chow hall. I gotta survive the nigga that said that my cousin shot his cousin. So he said, I'm food. I got the Crips who said I used to be a blood.
That's right.
And I ain't banging no more. Do I start banging back again so I can be safe?
That's right.
So I can get him off my heels, get them off my heels? Oh my God. Before I came here, I was doing ecstasy and Molly and Fetty Wap and smoking weed and snoring powder and drinking promethazine in this cup. Y'all got something that'll make me feel something a little bit close to that. Now I got to make a decision whether or not I want to run to this, run from him, keep them off my back. I used to be a blood. Oh, God. I got 68 years to do.
So in that 68 now, I'm also bringing up the speed. So now the systematic practice, you come in with a long length of incarceration. They give you a program that only lasts for 6 months. After that 6 months, you go back to what you know best. We call that social rule breaking. You know, that's what you call that. Because in that process, you can't get in no college, you can't get nothing because of the long length of incarceration. So I'm only going to give you, for those programs that I'm going to give you, that's pro-social. I'm going to give you something that's pro-social. That's going to, for me, it's what you call a meaningful activity. I'm only going to give you that last for 6 months. After that, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go back to the old mindset. That's the self-construction. See, what brothers got to understand. They hung us from a tree and they beat us in the streets. They fed us the wrong food, like ham and pig feet. But self-destruction of the mind and the body, sometimes the whites see you as being nobody. So you have to realize where you come from when you dig deep, so that you can understand that organized slavery that you living in, you ain't living in there. You existing to your death, to your dying day. So if when you brothers got to separate to elevate, get your mind right. Separate from the brothers that's still on prison time so you can come home. That's why my feet is where it's supposed to be. I'm free. That's what I had to do. I had to separate to elevate. And that's how I got free.
So when you think about this social rule breaking, you keep saying this social rule breaking, and the last time you said this now, it just snapped in my mind. When we out here in this society, this environment we call freedom, we act real social.
Right.
It's all about social media. We socialize.
Right. Yes.
When you hear a rule breaking,
right.
You know, when you go to a school, you got rules.
Right.
When you're on a sports team, you got rules. Grandma, mom,
Absolutely.
they gave us rules.
Absolutely.
The 10 Commandments, rules, amendments, laws. And I'm sure the prison system got a long ass guideline list of rules.
Absolutely.
So my brother was saying he was a social rule breaker. So now we back here in this society together to try to make a difference for our young people. they breaking rules every chance they get. Hey, man, me or you can be having a heart attack as an old black man, and they'll come in here, and before they give us mouth to mouth or call us the police or the ambulance, they'll take this out
and check and see if you
and film you and put you on their TikTok. Like, look at this dude, he's dying, y'all. Look, he's about to die. Post may leave your ass right there.
Yeah.
So, becoming desensitized to how societies run. I'm glad that not only that you back out here to make a difference, bro.
Right.
But at least you're getting enlightened on what's happening around you right now. To get caught up, like you told me you had 9 grandbabies, and I told you, you definitely better make sure they help you play with TikTok a little bit, because I had to get caught up with my son and my daughter. The young people will help us reach some of these people we trying to reach. And see, this is a positive perspective. This ain't no prison story. So we wasn't here to break down why this, that, or the other has something to do with prison. Now, this man escaped the perils of the hellhole and did his time for his crime. But now he's back to unwind his mind to give back in a positive light.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be through guided youth, through the light of positivity. See, we on the same page. All the organizations that I know that's in this country, can we pull some type of force of energy together? Or can we still operate as individuals but really be working on saving the people we trying to save? We're forced to go against law enforcement. We're forced to go against the laws because of how we was trained and how we was raised.
Right.
But I guess once you rehabilitate it, or you go to a place that take up enough of your time to let you see clearly. A lot of brothers that go to prison, I'm sure they use it as a tool or it becomes a crutch.
It becomes a crutch.
Some of these brothers go to jail, they don't make it back.
They don't make it back.
So any of my brothers that made it back home, that got dump truck companies, lawn care services, printing businesses, youth organization businesses, restaurants, food trucks, started rapping, got their own podcast, got their own clothing line, became chefs. We can go on and on because the prisons is filled with intelligent people, men and women. We ain't knocking prison, but can you use it as a positive perspective? Can you use prison as a tool like my brother Jackie Stone did? Because that's really what we doing today. We sharing what worth is all about. Worth, overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, hell. I'm Wallo Reall. And I wanted to make sure I gave my brother an opportunity and chance to share information about what he's doing, where he's going, where he came from. From federal to incredible studios and podcasts. Mr. Stone, is there anything else you want to share? You got anything else you want to get off your chest? I'm talking about you gave them folks 27 of them. And now you finally here. You right back where you want to be. So, you spoke at a high school. Tell me a little something about that.
So I spoke at a high school called Mason Run.
Mason Run. I believe that's a pretty popular school in the city of Columbus.
It's a charter school.
So what would they do? What they invite you to do there?
Speak to the youth.
How'd you do?
I did wonderful. From my mindset, I feel like I gave them all the information I can give. You know, I gave them everything that was in me. Anything
you remember or you recall you want to share for any of the young people that might be watching, that might have missed you?
So to the kids at Mason Run, the information that I gave you, continue to download it. Allow that information that I gave you to be a factor in your life to move forward.
And can you just give them a piece of what you told them to download? Because what if we got 50,000 little young people that go to other schools that's watching that might want to download that information? Just a small piece. Okay,
it's a small piece. So the information that I gave them students at Mason Run, I gave them the information that I just gave you all. You are a walking logo. You are a walking graduate. You are naturally a scholar. You have to know who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. And you will continue to grow and flourish in life. Don't give up on your dreams and don't never stop dreaming. And if a person's not going in the same direction as you in life, you keep it moving.
And you see, that's what this is about. Our goals are to see if we can plant these seeds in the young people that do care about growth, about knowing you're going to make a mistake, and slip and fall.
Absolutely.
But are you going to slip and fall and then stay there?
Absolutely.
I went to London for my second time. Okay, I met you there my first time. I came back for my second time to perform. This time it was inside. And this time they had this prepared for me.
Absolutely.
So the first time I took this picture. I'm on the stage right now in the yard where he was at, right here.
Yep.
When I went back the second time, they gave me this. They drew a picture of me. I said, man, you got some skills to be in prison. He said, yeah, I ain't really supposed to be here. I think that's what they all said. Do your time. Unwind when you come home and have a plan. Because I'm sure, man, what blew me away is when I got there and I was excited because I'm in jail. Okay, I ain't locked up, but I'm in jail. So I'm like, man, let me just ask a couple questions. Let me just see. Because I'm trying to find out how to be cool before I perform. Yo, man, how much time you got? Shit, my out date 2068. What's your out date, big deal? 2077.
Yeah.
In my mind, I said, okay, I ain't gonna
Yes.
ask that question no more.
Yes.
After I heard 2068 and 2077, how old are you, big dog? 19. How old are you? 22. I ain't asked that question no more.
You can't. It's
2068?
It's
77. See, but remember, because I ain't from that environment.
Yes, it's
I picked up on that real quick. On my second question, I said, maybe that ain't the question to ask. Maybe these young homies ain't gonna want me to leave after I keep on asking them how much time they got. So when I got in the studio, it's offensive. So remember now, you gotta learn. I'm still learning. I ain't got no prison number. Right. I do want to learn about some things I don't know. So that's why when you meet brothers who had the experience, you know, they always tease me. Some of the old homies, they say, yeah, Wallo, you ain't never been to jail. Right. How you gonna go out here and teach these young people something? You ain't never been to jail. Nigga, I ain't had to make the decision and the choice you made to learn how to do this. But I've been doing this before you caught your case. So just remember, before you went to jail, I was on stay out the streets. You was in the streets.
Absolutely.
You made a poor choice decision and where you had to go. Guess what I'm still doing, though? I'm still pushing stay out the streets.
Ain't no doubt.
You went to jail for me. I ain't had to go to prison. I ain't had to wipe me off the block in order to teach the young homies that's doing 90 to 60 to 70 years. How about I'm serving my purpose on the street, trying to save some of my young men who ain't got no numbers, who ain't got no jail, who ain't got no incarceration on their jacket. I'm just saying. Everybody ain't got to go to prison. I had a young man tell me the other day, every one of us should go to jail for 1 or 2 years. What you think about that? He came up to me, he say, Wallo B, I think everybody should go to jail for at least a year, bro. Do you agree with that?
No.
I damn sure didn't agree because I told him I did 21 years. Excuse me, I did 21 hours. I did 21 hours in Hamilton County. That was enough for me.
Yes. Because, you know, you got to think of it like this. A man that can go to jail for 2 years, you can come out worse than you was going in.
Did you hear that?
You can
a year.
You can exit the same way you enter. So you can have the same mindset and exit the same way you enter with the same thoughts. That same vehicle that's been parked for 2 years, all you're gonna do is put a different paint job on it, some different rims, and you're gonna ride with that same mindset because nothing has changed. So you worked hard to stay the same.
In other words,
you exit the same
I don't
way
agree
you
with that statement that every man should go to jail for a year because I went into a facility I've never been into called London. I was in there for about 3 hours. I met this individual. And look where we are now. 9 months later, he's sitting in a studio on a podcast talking about his life changes, his growth, where he's headed, his organization. So no, I didn't have to go to jail for no year, did I?
No,
because
sorry.
I went in there for 3 hours and look where I'm at. I'm sitting next to an individual who did 27 years. Why would I go give him one? So what I'm trying to say is the maker take you where you need to go.
For sure.
You got hands, 2 eyes, your 2 feet. Let it take you where you want to go, but you got to want it. Like my brother just said, it took some time for him to unwind negative thoughts to turn into positivity. Right. And now we sit here. So I salute my brother Jackie Stone for coming and sitting down with Wallo Reall today on Worth, a podcast that's all about training yourself to get away from negativity and knowing that your mental health is a factor and you can't ignore it. In prison, in a hospital, in a school, at home, arguing with your wife, arguing with your son. He want to carry guns. He want to get tattoos on his face. He want to smoke weed. They want to pop pill. They want to do Molly. How many of y'all condoning that? Your little son come in the house, got a big gun on him with a switch on it. He's setting it on the counter. You acting like ain't no problem. See, what do you condone? Uncles, brothers, cousins, ex-inmates, brothers who said they changed. For all the people who got organizations that's talking about they nonprofit that's doing this for the youth. How much do you condone when you meet one of these young homies or one of these young girls talking about she happy with sleeping with 3 or 4 different guys? We forget about STDs? Do we forget about AIDS? Do we forget about, we watching all these young people overdose. We watching people our age and even older overdose. So our organizations has got to matter. We got to be intentional, like the homie said, if we gonna help change and serve our purpose. Or else, what is all these organizations here for? Columbus, Ohio, California, New York, Detroit, St. Louis, Memphis, for everybody who got organizations. Are you really standing for your organization? Or are you just trying to get money from the city and the government? Are you just trying to get some money because you got a nonprofit? Churches is nonprofit. How many churches is out there on the corner? How many of them really reach out to help our sons and daughters and nieces and nephews? I ain't knocking the church, but sometimes we give these props to all these places and we still see all these homeless people. They giving all this money out for grants, all this money out for this, for that. You see how many homeless people? Now, this ain't a homeless podcast. This is a podcast dealing with the thoughts and the processes of our mind with saving our babies. Grandbabies. We grand kings sitting here, you heard me? So the goal for us to find a way to unite with all these other organizations, to get out here to push this peace, to put this power back in the hands of our black men that they say is the reason. See, dude, they blame a lot of our black men for this. For y'all get this twisted. The dad was gone. The dad was absent. The father was not there. So when you get a chance to be a father and you got you a woman, you're supposed to become your wife. You're supposed to have your children underneath the same roof as your wife and your children. Yeah, babies, daddies, babies, mamas. I ain't talking to y'all. We talking about the people that got a chance to create their family, to hold their family down and look up to the man there. No matter if he been to prison, no matter if he been to college, we still got to teach and we still got to show this love. My slogan is a positive perspective produce a positive performance. I'm here with my brother Jackie Stone, man. Guiding youth, university of the streets. Know your value, know your worth. I appreciate you, Jackie Stone. Before you go, is there any place they can find you? Do you have a Facebook? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have a TikTok? Is there any way they can reach you? And if not, is there a phone number? Where can they reach you at?
You can reach me on Facebook. University of the Streets. Unite, install values, equity, resources, sustainability into the youth. And remember, it's about impact over income. And that's real.
Shout out to the world, man. We gonna make some changes because we uniting and we gonna continue to spread this love. We gonna continue to barter. We gonna continue to pass this brother to the next person's podcast. And we gonna get this message out here to save our youth. Much love. 2026 is here, y'all. We gonna get busy.
Nice.